Most people think wealth is built in loud moments. A breakthrough, a lucky opportunity, a big idea, a big investment, a sudden win, something dramatic, something visible, something people can point to and say, that's where everything changed. But in real life, wealth is usually built in a very different way. Quietly, almost invisibly, in decisions that do not look impressive at first, in habits that do not get applause, in behaviors that most people underestimate because they do not create instant excitement. That is why so many people misunderstand wealth. They notice the result. They notice the house, the money, the business, the freedom, the lifestyle, but they miss the small repeated behaviors that made all of that possible. And that is where the real story begins. Because the people who stay average and the people who build real wealth are often not separated by one giant move. They are separated by quiet habits repeated long enough to create a completely different life. That is what this video is about. Not fake guru advice, not loud motivational cliches, not fantasy, and not the usual empty idea that rich people are simply lucky. Reality is more serious than that. There are people who work extremely hard and still stay stuck. There are people who start behind and still build something extraordinary. There are people who earn a lot and stay broke. And there are people who earn modestly at first, but build momentum that keeps growing. So the difference is not only effort, it is not only talent, and it is not only opportunity. A huge part of the difference is hidden in habits, silent habits, the kinds of habits that shape how a person thinks, reacts, spends, learns, focuses, and builds over time. And the reason these habits matter so much is simple. A habit does not affect your life once. It affects your life every time it repeats. So if a behavior is weak, the weakness repeats. If a behavior is strong, the advantage repeats. And repeated advantages eventually become a different future. That is why two people can live in the same world, see the same economy, face many of the same pressures, and still end up in completely different places. One drifts, one builds, one reacts, one thinks ahead, one stays emotionally driven, one becomes strategically disciplined, and over time, that gap stops being invisible. It becomes a life difference. So in this video, we are going to break down 8 silent habits that make people rich. Not because each habit looks dramatic in the moment, but because each one quietly shapes the kind of person who can build wealth. Let's start with one of the deepest habits of all. Habit number 1. Rich people think in delayed rewards. Most people are trained to chase what feels good now. Spin now, relax now, escape now, buy now, quit now, celebrate now. The problem is that short-term pleasure often steals long-term power. And that is where many people get stuck without realizing it. They do not ruin their future in one giant mistake. They ruin it in 100 tiny decisions that all say the same thing. I want relief right now. That pattern is expensive because wealth usually rewards people who can delay visible rewards in exchange for stronger foundations. The ability to wait, the ability to build before showing off, the ability to stay disciplined before results become obvious, the ability to keep going while progress still feels invisible. That is one of the most silent wealth habits in existence. Most rich people do not look rich in the phase where they are building. They often look focused, busy, disciplined, patient, less reactive, less impulsive. That is because they understand something most people do not. A lot of powerful things in life need time before they become visible. Trust needs time. Skills need time. Content libraries need time. Investments need time. Reputation needs time. And people who cannot tolerate delay often sabotage the very compounding they say they want. That is why delayed gratification is not just a discipline habit, it is a wealth habit. Habit number 2. Rich people protect their attention like it is money. This habit is incredibly silent because nobody celebrates it. There is no applause for ignoring distractions, no trophy for turning your phone away, no audience when you choose focus over noise. But this habit matters more than most people think. Because attention shapes thought, thought shapes decisions, decisions shape direction, and direction shapes life. People who stay distracted all day usually believe they have a time problem. Often they really have an attention problem. Their mind is scattered. Their focus is weak. Their energy is fragmented. And because of that, they never go deep enough into useful work long enough to create leverage. Rich people often become very intentional about what they allow into their mind, not because they are better human beings, but because they understand the cost of mental chaos. Too much scrolling, too much comparison, too much drama, too many random opinions, too many notifications. All of that steals something. It steals depth. It steals clarity. It steals consistency. And without those three things, building wealth becomes much harder. Because wealth is rarely built by people who live in constant reaction. It is built by people who can hold focus longer than average. People who can think, plan, build, refine. Habit number 3. Rich people spend to build, not just to feel. Most people spend emotionally. They buy because they are tired, because they are bored, because they want relief, because they want status, because they want to feel rewarded. That is normal human behavior. But it becomes very expensive when it turns into a default lifestyle. Rich people do not necessarily spend less in every category, but the thinking behind their spending is often different. A poor person may ask, "What do I want right now?" A wealth-building person often asks, "What does this money do for me later?" That question creates a completely different financial life, because then money becomes something more strategic. A tool, a builder, a multiplier, a source of leverage. That is when spending changes. Books instead of random consumption. Skills instead of ego purchases. Assets instead of constant depreciation. Habit number 4. Rich people learn continuously, even after they start winning. This habit is one of the biggest separators in the long run. Average people often learn until they become comfortable. Then they stop. They assume they know enough. They stop asking better questions. They stop updating their thinking. That is dangerous because the world keeps moving. Markets change. Platforms change. Opportunities change. The tools change. The audience changes. And if your thinking does not keep evolving, eventually your results stop evolving too. Rich people often stay in learning mode longer. Not because they enjoy confusion, but because they understand that better thinking creates better decisions. And better decisions repeated over time create extraordinary outcomes. Habit number 5. Rich people build before they consume. This is one of the quietest habits on the list, and one of the most powerful. Many people wake up and immediately consume messages, news, social media, entertainment, other people's opinions. And by the time they start their own day, their mental energy already belongs to the outside world. That pattern makes it much harder to create value. Rich people often develop a different rhythm. They try to build before they consume, create before they scroll, think before they react, work before they wander. That shift is enormous. Habit number 6. Rich people become emotionally boring in important moments. This is an underrated habit. Many people stay financially unstable because they are emotionally unstable. They react too fast. They spend too fast. They panic too fast. They switch direction too fast. They get excited too fast. They quit too fast. Their decisions are constantly being pulled around by temporary feelings. Rich people are not emotionless, but many of them learn to become calmer in moments that usually make others react. When markets move, they think. When opportunities appear, they examine. Habit number 7. Rich people choose environments that support their standards. A lot of people rely too much on willpower. That is exhausting, and in the long run, it is inefficient. Rich people often understand something quieter. Environment shapes behavior. If your space encourages distraction, you will get distracted more easily. If your friends normalize waste, your standards will drift downward. Habit number 8. Rich people think in identity, not just in goals. Most people focus only on outcomes. More money, better house, more freedom, more status. That is understandable. But goals alone do not change a life if the person chasing them stays the same. Rich people often shift into a deeper question. What kind of person builds this? That changes everything. When someone starts seeing themselves as the kind of person who finishes, who thinks long-term, who creates value, who controls emotion, who learns fast, their actions change. And once actions change consistently, life changes. Now, if you step back and look at these 8 habits together, a pattern becomes obvious. None of them are loud. None of them are flashy. That is exactly why most people miss them. They are looking for excitement. But wealth usually grows from structure. They are looking for fast proof. But wealth usually grows through repetition. They are looking for dramatic change. But wealth often grows through quiet consistency. That is the deeper truth. So do not watch this and think only about rich people. Think about yourself. Which of these habits is strongest in your life right now? Because the biggest financial changes often do not begin with one giant opportunity. They begin quietly,